Although it pledged to govern by prioritizing jobs and the economy, the majority is instead escalating its war on women, with H.J. Res. 43 a dangerous continuation of its never-ending crusade against access to health care for women. The majority started the 115th Congress by moving quickly to eviscerate the Affordable Care Act, a law that finally barred insurance companies from treating women as being a pre-existing condition. Without this law, women once again would pay a higher rate for coverage than men. Now think about that for a moment, if everybody doesn't know it, but before this law, single women paid from 10 to 57% more than men for their health insurance in states that allowed gender rating. A lot of people don't understand this, but it cost American women nearly $1 billion every year. But Republicans are rushing to repeal the Affordable Care Act without anything to take its place. The majority has also advanced H.R. 7, a sweeping bill that would go beyond even the Hyde Amendment, a 40-year provision that's been around for 4 decades too long. This legislation wouldn't just make this amendment permanent, it would also place unprecedented limits on women's access to reproductive health services, even if they wanted to pay out of their own pockets to access constitutionally protected abortion services. These moves by the majority, along with the President signing a dramatic expansion of global gag rule immediately after taking office, have brought millions of people pouring into the street in protest. During the National Women's March, millions of people marched all across the country and even around the globe to defend women's rights. These marches were likely the largest day of protest in American history. More than 500,000 people took to the streets right here in the nation's capital, and they were peaceful, without a single arrest reported anywhere in the country. Far from respecting those rights, the majority is today considering a measure that marks an entirely new front in their war against women's rights. And this is the most serious threat facing women so far in this Congress, and it's only February. Programs supported by Title X help to provide life-saving, preventive health care services like contraception, cancer screening, STD testing to men and women who need them most. It is outrageous that the majorities today are trying to allow conservative state legislatures to pick and choose who can provide this essential care with federal money. And that is one of the worst things in the world, that the luck of the draw of where you live will determine whether or not you have access that is entitled to all people from the federal money. This would threaten health centers from coast to coast. Mr. Speaker, we're facing the same problem today we faced for a very, very long time. Men in blue suits and red ties determining what women can and should do when it comes to their own health. That they believe that the majority of persons, women in the United States, are incapable of making their own decisions. Do you think that about your own mother or your wife? Because Washington, D.C. is controlled by this Republican majority, the stakes for women are higher today than they have been in generations as we turn over laws passed by the elected government of the District of Columbia. Mr. Speaker, Republican leaders in Congress turn a deaf ear to the majority of Americans who oppose this dramatic government intervention into women's health care. They unfortunately have the votes to pass it, but they'll have to reckon with the overwhelming majority of the public. It's time for the government to get out of the business of taking away women's health care rights.